there, this is Cheryl at North Branch Nursery, and today we're going to talk to you about spring pruning. These are going to be any of your flowering shrubs that bloom in the spring. When they're done blooming is the perfect time to start. First, there's two things you need to know about shrubs, and that's new wood and old wood. When you have old wood, such as your lilacs, these ones will take all year to prep their buds for next year. So if you cut these too late in the season, you're gonna lose all your flowers for the next year. So this is why as soon as lilacs are done blooming, that's your time to go in and prune up, you know, the dead flowers, to shape them, to cut out any crisscrossing branches. That's when you're gonna do it. Roses bloom on new wood. So these guys you're not gonna wanna shape at all during late spring into summer, but you can still go in and cut those heads off, and that's what I'll show you how to do today. So here we have a dwarf Korean lilac. The first thing you're going to want to do before you go in and start those pruning and those cleanups is you're going to want to grab your different types of pruners. Really, you can just use one or the other. I like using these for perennials because, you know, they're smaller, they get into those tight spaces, but your standard pruners are fine as well. Before you cut anything, you're going to want to have a spray bottle of alcohol ready. This helps keep transferring diseases, funguses, stuff like that. You're going to want to clean up in between all of your plants. So we'll just jump right into this. You can see here we have some old dead flowers. So what you're going to want to do is you're just going to come down to the base where you get to the next set of branching and cut at a 45-degree angle and snip it off. That's it. That's how you deadhead. So we'll do a couple more so you can just kind of see how it cleans it up nicely. Just come in here. I see some new leaves forming here, so we don't have to cut that guy off. We'll just cut above it. And that's how you cut the dead heads off. As far as shaping goes, you're going to want to make sure, like we have a dead branch in here, so you want to cut that guy out. That will help the area heal up nicely and keep pathogens and diseases from getting in there. So we'll just go and we'll cut him off. And then as far as thinning or overall pruning, you want to try not to do more than a third of your shrub, but also you want to make sure you get any dead branches. You want to get any branches that are crisscrossing, so that way later on they're not going to rub and cause any more damage. This guy looks pretty good, so we'll just kind of give him an overall shaping a little bit here. So we'll cut, we'll cut some more heads off here. He's just needs a little bit of a cleanup. He's actually got a pretty good shape, but alright, so what we'll do here now is we'll move on to another lilac that really needs a good overall pruning. Don't forget to clean your pruners with that alcohol. Okay, so this guy is growing kind of wonky. This is a Miss Kim. Every lilac is going to have a different type of shape. You might want it to grow a certain way, but really the just important thing is to keep it nice and clean, get those dead heads off. If you forget and you want to prune later in the season, you can. You just won't have any flowers the following year. So again, this is the perfect time to go in and do this. So we're going to cut, there's new leaf growth here, so we'll just cut these heads off. Alright, and then as far as shaping goes, this guy's kind of growing all over the place, so we're just going to round him out a little bit. Again, try not to take more than a third off of the whole shrub, so we'll just come in here, come a little further down, give it a snip. Same thing over here. It's kind of growing wonky out the side, so we'll do a snip there. And then don't forget to cut at your 45-degree angle. And then there we have it. He's got a pretty even shape now. So we can just go in and take the rest of those heads off. Okay, so here we have a standard knockout rose. These ones are technically considered self-cleaning, so you don't have to do anything to them in the season if you don't want to. However, cutting off the old buds will help push out new buds quicker and just make it, look overall cleaner. So I like to use my little guys for these because they kind of get in there to take all these heads off. You don't really want to do any overall shaping, but we'll go in, we'll just take some of these heads off, make it look nice and fresh and clean. So again, you're going to want to hit your pruners with your alcohol. So with the roses, you have, like this guy here, he's still got a flower on it, and he also has some fresh buds. So you don't want to cut that. You want to let that guy go so he can flourish. But, there's a couple over here. It looks like this whole set of buds is spent. So you can actually take this and go way back to where the next branching starts. Okay, and just take that whole guy off and get him out of there. There's a guy over here by himself again. Just take him back down to the branching. Don't forget to snip at your 45-degree angle. And then again, just up here, there's a bunch of clusters. Make sure there's no new buds and there's also no new growth, so that way you still get your flowering later. And another cluster. And this just helps kind of clean them up, make them look a little nicer, and gets rid of all those browning petals. This guy here, so he's got quite a bit of length on him. There's no new growth. All of his buds are done, so you can actually take him back to the next set of five leaves. So there's a leaf right here that's got 5 leaves on it. Take him back to that 5-leafer and snip it off there. So when pruning perennial flowers, we have this guy here is the May Night. It's our Salvia, also known as the meadow sage. This flower will bloom in spring going into summer, and then they kind of start to look like this. You'll have some flowers at the top, but the rest of the stalk is pretty much done. They will bloom again, but some people like to go in and give these a good cleanup. So that's what we'll do. I'll show you how to do the pruning on the May Night. Don't forget to alcohol your pruners. Again, I like to use the little ones for the littler guys. It just, you can get in there and see it better. But you can use the bigger ones as well. So with these guys, you'll actually see where it'll put out a new set of leaves, and then there's another little bud in there. You don't want to cut that off, but anything up here, you can take that off. Don't forget your 45-degree angle. We'll snip him off there. You can see some of the other buds are starting to form. You don't want to cut those off. If you're in question, just go to the bottom of the flower and snip it there. That way you don't cut off those buds. You don't have to worry about it. But overall, these guys don't really need a shaping, because once you go in and you just start taking all these dead heads off, it'll have a pretty decent shape, and then everything will fill back in and they'll flower again later. But any of your spring flowering perennials, you can go in and do this. Just cut the dead heads off. You're not going to hurt it. It's not like an old wood blooming shrub where you have to wait for a certain time. You can prune these all the way up until the middle of August. Once you get to about August, you're going to want to stop deadheading plants, because they're going to want to start focusing on their final blooms and getting ready to go to sleep for the winter.